laps.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, for another afternoon presentation of iRacing's Formula B Series for the Super Formula cars here on iRacing. You are watching VSPEED. This one presented in partnership with SimRacingNation.com, as always, over the last few weeks. Definitely appreciate the support that they have given us and iRacing to help make this series possible. You got the same cast of characters here in the booth. It's Logan Sanathrokel, our lead commentator tonight. I'm your color and producer, Morgan Cook, and you are watching VSPEED. I wish I would have spelt it right on the graphic, at VSPEED Sim on X, and check us out at VSPEEDSim.com on the World Wide Web. Logan, you excited?
I'm very excited. Mugello, what a fantastic racetrack, first of all. So technical, but yet it holds a lot of value in the speed category, as we're going to bring it up right here, located there in Tuscany, Italy. 3.25 miles around this beautiful 15-corner circuit, opened up back in 1974, and right around 135 feet of elevation change throughout this course. So relatively flat here, Morgan.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see here tonight, these 15 corners, and how drivers are able to just navigate this very technical racetrack. I mean, again, just like the last few weeks, Logan, you've turned laps here over the course of the week to try and learn the racetrack better. Where are your trouble spots here at this facility?
Honestly, this entire track, it's very troublesome for me. A lot of corners that I feel like I could carry a lot more speed in. You just sweep out a little bit too wide. But what I'm going to say, probably turn 9. The exit of turn 9 flattens out extremely quickly. So whenever you get over that crest of the hill, it's a lot to keep it on the right side of the track.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that all night. Qualifying has just concluded, and now it's time to see where your favorite driver is going to start the evening. See here in just a moment. It's time for your grid here on VSPEED.
Taking the number 1 spot here tonight in Italy, it's Timothy Freeze Larson in the number 1 car with the 1:24.646. JT Smeaton in the 3 will be on the front row. Row number 2 will be Dennis Branch in the 4 machine next to the 5 of Marcos Alarcon, who's looking extremely well in the points coming into this one. Row number 3, Miguel Facciato in the 10, starts out in the 5th position next to the 2 of Valentin Klus in 6th. Behind them, Dan Yang in the 6th machine starts out in 7th next to the 9 of Mohamed Rizuki in 8th. Last but not least, in the 5th row, it's Dennis Cornu in the 7 machine next to the 13 of Andrea Zanet in 10th.
11th tonight will be Archer Kazimierski in the 11 machine. Bahad Ain will start in 12th. In the 8th, 13th, to be Gonzo Diaz-Lavia in the 16. Simon Che in the 14th spot here tonight. 15th, your final row on the grid. Badur Ziska Jensen in the 14 will start 15th. Adam Collin will start in the 16th position. That's your grid here this evening.
Turnout.
Another good turnout
for
sure.
this week.
Absolutely.
Missing still yet a couple cars on the grid. As I mentioned there, Marcos Alarcon coming into this race in the points lead. We will get that up as soon as we can once the race gets started. Go over that. 25 laps on the night. Pit road speed limit is 37 miles per hour. Wet tires are optional as always. However, does not look like we will see any rain here today. Local yellows only with that classic open setup. Morgan, the lights are going up and they're coming off green here at Mugello.
Clean start for one of the first times this year. No issues right off the jump. And we continue 3, 4, and 5 wide here down into the first section.
And it's such a long straightaway from that starting grid all the way to turn number 1. Now we're going to work it up through turns 2 and 3. Nice little switchback section here to start out this circuit.
And so far, so good for the entire field. Exactly what you want to see. At the 11 here with a black flag. Not sure exactly what happened there. Other than that, everyone so far able to keep it on the racing surface.
Looking back here at that 11 of Archer Kazimierski, see if we can find out why he's received that black flag. I don't see any damage on the car, but maybe a closer inspection could prove differently. Here we go. Timothy Fries Larson already with a 1.3 second lead over JT Smeaton in that second position, holding it down where he started. Marcos Alarcon able to get around for that third position, so he's that third in line, single filed out as we make our way through turns 12, 13, 14 down into the left hand. Pretty well a 180, not quite a hairpin, but you could essentially call it that. Turn 15 back down to our longest section of this course, the straightaway all the way back down into turn number 1. And it's going to be 6th gear, 180 miles per hour, all the way down to second or third, depending on how comfortable you are with the car.
These guys, I'm imagining second, as we are talking about max comfort as far as iRacing goes in this series with this car. We have seen the 11 bring it down the pit lane. There he is. Oh, get over the wall. There he is. Just now leaving, serving his penalty. I'm not exactly sure what would have caused a penalty. Maybe a jump start could potentially trigger a black flag here. We haven't seen that yet this season.
That's the only thing that I could imagine here. Taking a look back one more time, see if we can find out what happened. It doesn't look like Archer had a early release by any means on the start. He was actually one of the last ones off of the grid. Might have been something to do with maybe some corner cutting early on. Potentially. On board now with the 2 of Valentin Klus running that 4th position. You can see that 5 of Marcos Alarcon just ahead. Now, again, remember these cars do have that 200 seconds of the overtake system to use. You see that starting to get more used in the middle course of this race. Likely a lot of these drivers will be saving it up as we are very well spread out through the field already.
In this racetrack, you mentioned it being technical, and typically these technical circuits don't give you many opportunities to run right up on the back of somebody because you need all the downforce you can get. We see a potential pass for position here for 7th. Cornu trying to make it around Facciato. Oh, big move behind him as well. Mizugi and I think that's Ayan having a moment there, able to get it righted and get it sorted so they can get into the technical section and not lose too much time.
They're going to stay within the realm of Facciato and Cornu. That's settled out with Cornu running 7th. Machado falls back that position. Battle between Rizugi and Ayan there for that 9th and 10th spot.
We got a driver off the racetrack, it looks like. Maybe has left the session potentially. Let's go back and see if we can figure it out.
Looks like we do have a meatball flag, so heavy damage here on the 16. We're getting ready to see it.
Yeah, that's Gonzalo in the 16 machine. Currently sitting in 16th. Looks like he just overstepped it a little bit. Caught the wall, ripped the nose off of it, and that is not going to drive all that well anymore, unfortunately.
Zero downforce on that front side of the car will certainly end you very early. If you're willing to try it, it's not a smart move at all. You'll see the wall in the next corner, certainly. But back up here in the mix of it, we're separated, but not by much. Valentin Plus has a great run down the front stretch, gets to the left side of Alarcon. We're going to look to the outside here in turn number 1. Alarcon's going to defend from the inside, keeps it side by side through turn 1. Who's going to get the better of it out of here? Side by side still for turn 2. Alarcon Plus, it lines out. Plus gets the position up to that podium spot there for P3.
I have a feeling we're going to see that move happen another time here, at least, if Plus is able to catch up to the driver in front of him, who is JT Smeaton. That was such a well-choreographed move. Enter on the top in turn 1 and have the preferred line into turn number 2 where you can't defend it. And he's through to third, a little off track there like everyone else has been. But clearly a lot of speed in the 2 machine here today.
Plus showing what he's got early. Don't know if we're using a whole lot of that OTS, but you know, he's up 3 positions already. Started out in 6th, up to 3rd after relatively smooth start to this race. Like you said, it's one of the cleanest ones we've seen all season.
Yeah, the cleanest start. We didn't see a car really have an issue, save for the black flag, until lap 3, which is something I have yet to see in this series. Typically, we have a handful of cars who are jumped by the time we can roll into turn number 1. So definitely definitely good to see here.
Board with Dennis Branch now, holding down that 5th position, looking to attack Marcos Alarcon. He's getting closer and closer, using the slipstream here. Down into turn 1. You can see he's using that 3rd gear through turn 1. So finding a little bit more comfort as these tires wear in. That's exactly what I experienced as we got through the practice session. Tires getting up to temp, a little bit of wear into them, and it seems like the car really wants to grip up through these high-speed sections.
Yeah, you're fighting tire temperatures in every series across iRacing, whether you're running mini stocks and Formula Vs or whether you're running these super Formula behemoths or your other stock cars. Wherever you are on the service, it's all about that tire temperature and getting it to the optimal temperature and keeping it there for as long as possible.
That it is. We saw Alarcon get a little bit on the outside of corner exit in front of Dennis Branch. However, that did not hinder his speed by any means. Branch still back about a half a second. And that is essentially the closest battle in the field right now between Alarcon and Branch. Everybody else over the half-second mark in separation.
You know what that means, Logan. It's a great time to look at our points. Let's bring them up on your screen right now. That are your points just before this race started. Alarcon, your points leader by 8 over Tavares. It's only 22 back to Gerber. I don't see Tavares in this race. The first one he'll have missed since we started doing this series here on VSPEED. So definitely a lot of shakeup up at the front of the field here. Going to be interesting to see, whereas we only have a few weeks of participation left, 3 weeks left.
Yeah, week number 9 here out of 12. And this one's going to be a good outcome for Alarcon either way, since Tavares and Gerber, neither one of them in this race. Dennis Branch is here, but 78 points back from Alarcon. So a lot of wiggle room for that 5 machine. You might experience him making some more hectic moves here, as Dennis Branch just saw a little bit of the sand trap on the outside of the corner.
I think that, he's got a lot of it. Got a lot of it right there. He's searching for something, and he's not quite finding it in that 4 machine.
That's that turn 9 exit that I was warning you about early, Morgan. It gets so flat when you don't quite expect it. A little bit of dirty air can send you off into that sand trap, and you are essentially stuck. Unless you can carry your speed through it and get out onto the grass on the other side, you're very likely to high center this car in the sand.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that. That's a bad news situation, getting the car stuck in the sand trap. I don't know much about road course racing, but I do know that you want to keep it on the black stuff. I'll keep it on the tarmac. That's where the speed's at. The grass and the dirt are not exactly where you want to find those machines.
Sure, we could find some old clips of some oval cars on Sonoma that would prove otherwise, but with these specifically, yes. The downforce only works on the tarmac. It does not work on the grass or the sand. It rarely wants to work on the apron. Here we go, a little bit further back, I believe.
This is Cornu and
the
Machado.
7. Yeah.
Absolutely here. Yeah, I'm sure some of those cars in the 80s, those Cup cars that Sonoma you're talking about, had negative downforce. They probably had lift in the front end that would allow you to do some interesting things on the dirt in Sonoma, but these are a far cry from that. Absolutely a marvel of technology. Super Formula machines are comparable to Formula 2, though faster in about every way, and just really incredible pieces of machinery these drivers are able to pilot.
Will say over the course of the last couple of weeks, Morgan, this car has really opened my eyes a little bit more to the world of open-wheeled racing, and I couldn't be more happy about it, as these races have been exciting to watch and be a part of. As we've got some excitement starting to boil up here. GT Smeaton holding down the second spot, but Valentin Plus has caught up. We saw Plus get around Alarcon with a move down into turn 1. Will we see it again? To the inside he goes. We have the corner right here, hard on the brakes. Klus gets down to the inside, holds it on the inside, gets around for P2.
Absolutely, he made that move work. Opposite of what we saw the last time around, where he went to the high side and made it work in turn 2. He was able to just dive down to turn 1 and make it stick. But he's got 5.5 seconds to go to catch Timothy Free Larson, and that is not going to be an easy task. A driver we've seen lead more laps than anybody else in this series since we started covering it.
Larson not even in the top 20 for the points coming into this race. So, you know, taking advantage of some screen time, maybe not taking advantage of these sessions throughout the week, but either way, enjoy seeing Larson out here turning laps as fast as that driver is. Certainly puts on a show every single time so far. Every lap led here tonight at Mugello. And it will likely continue to stay that way until we see potentially some lap traffic maybe hindering that one machine.
Though we are seeing that gap drop a little bit. We were up at 5.6. Now it gets a little bit larger, as I think we're on, maybe not pushed it past quite yet, but we are seeing that gap fluctuate a little bit from first to second by a matter of tenths of a second, which is not quite going to be enough at this point in the race to catch up to Timothy Free Larson. But again, these open setups, things can change over time. We'll have to see who's got the good one underneath the hood here this evening.
Larson could be the fastest driver for the first half of the race, but if that setup's not built correctly for the back half and in the front half, it can change so quickly, as Klus will look to take advantage of it, now falling back to 6.3 seconds behind Timothy Free Larson. Holding down that second spot, Smeaton staying in the picture, ready to attack whenever that opportunity is available.
Yeah, definitely there. Close enough if something were to happen. Oh, just like that. I thought he was going around. That's got to be an unnerving feeling when you touch that gravel trap going that fast and it just shoots the car exactly the way that you want it to go. Man, that's got to be tough to handle.
Another thing to keep in mind as well, these little speed bumps, the turtles that you'll see in the corners, obviously not through that section there. You have a lot of room in that turn 13, 14 section to utilize a lot of track limit available. Down through 15, come out wide on the exit, nearly into that pit road entrance. We say we hang out here for just a lap and see what a full lap looks like at Mugello.
Read my mind. Walk us through it, Logan.
Down into turn 1. We're going to downshift from 6th all the way down to 3rd. Hug it tight to the inside. Keep it wide on the outside for that entrance there of turn number 2. Switchback section 2 and 3. Short straight here. Same kind of switchback section. A little bit more elongated here. As turn 5 will be a little bit more of a sweeper back to the right. Then turn 6, Casanova, downhill right-hander, immediately into a continued downhill left-hander. A lot of speed can be carried through there. Turn 8 and turn 9. This is that section. We've seen a lot of tires off on the exits. Oh, man, just barely keeps it on the surface there on the exit of 9. Turn 10 and 11, another switchback here. And then turn 12, one more, kind of a horseshoe sort of a corner. Downshift down into third once more, maybe even second here for some of the drivers. Another high-speed section, get back up to 6th gear before turn 15, back down to third. It's right back to the straightaway where we'll see that top speed of 180 miles an hour by the time we get to the end.
Well done, Logan. Definitely a fun racetrack. It looks like to drive. As you see, a lot of the field still in this race. Only one driver out of it. That, of course, is Levia in the 16 machine, who ended up knocking the nose cone off that. We saw that about 11 minutes ago. All the way back to the 11 who had to serve that pass-through penalty. Artur Kazimierski still in the race, although 15 seconds behind his nearest competitor, Ziska Jensen. There goes the 14.
It's just such a thing of beauty to watch these cars through these quick left-hand, right-hand sections, and the weight transfer with how hard that can be. These drivers mastering it. Larson still holding on to a 5.5 second lead, plus trying to claw his way back up there. Smeaton about 2 seconds back now from Kluss. So our top 5 has spread out quite a bit over the course of about 10 seconds from 1st to 5th.
With the group from about 6th on to 10th, they're all separated by only about 7 seconds. Any mistake here could absolutely prove costly for their race, as they're so tight together. We see 3 of them on the screen at this moment. You don't have to look too far to find another car either in front or behind this little group here.
That's what makes these so much fun, Morgan. There's a lot of competition in the mid-pack. Strength of field, I believe, was around the 4,300 areas here tonight.
Right.
So it's up there. It's not the highest that we've seen. I believe that was last week might have been the highest, or the second highest, up around
I think Fuji was the highest we saw at 5180. We've seen, I think Road America was a high one as well, up at like we were like 5150 or something like that. But absolutely, we've seen some incredibly high splits. This one, while nothing to scoff at, has been a little bit on the lower side of what we've seen this season. Of course, 4,300 is still a very high split. I have never touched those kind of numbers in any series. Highest I've ever been is like 3,200. So to have the average of the field, 1,000 points higher than I've ever been is, yeah, definitely saying something.
A lot of talent to be had. It's a lot of dedication coming down to it. If you really want to get to the semantics of things,
it is.
It's all about just how much time you want to dedicate to that one series and perfect your craft. As we see these drivers being the top competitors week after week, it shows exactly why. These lap times are unbelievable here, as Timothy Friese-Larsen has set the fastest lap at 124.948. That was the last lap completed, so these cars are getting even faster as we progress through this race.
Yeah, that fuel burn is obviously overcoming the tire wear. I don't think there's a ton of tire wear around this very smooth racetrack. But that fuel, obviously, that weight coming off the car is definitely going to help these guys go faster and faster. As well, we're just on the halfway lap here. I imagine we're starting to get into a little bit more push-to-pass use, a little bit more OTS use right now, knowing that we've only got half this race left. And if you are within striking distance of a driver in front of you, such as AN is, it's time to push that button and get some speed out of it and see if you can go make some passes.
At least try to get close enough to start utilizing that slipstream. You can turn that OTS back off. It will be deactivated for 100 seconds, though, after you do that. So you've got about a little over a lap, be about a lap and a couple corners there before you can utilize it once more. But once you're in that slipstream, it essentially can act the same exact way. If you can keep it right behind the car in front, you'll still find that extra speed that you're looking for each time that you're on that button.
Absolutely. And with this track, as kind of sweeping as some of these corners are, it could definitely be helpful to have a little bit more horsepower in certain situations. There are parts of the racetrack, though, where I wouldn't dream of using it just for the fear of going off the racetrack and finding yourself in one of these well-manicured gravel traps that I'm sure the track stewards don't want to have to go out and get the rake and rake them smooth again.
Absolutely not, as we're going to see him move to the inside here in turn number 1. The 7, Cornu holds it around the outside. Ayan not able to complete the pass on the inside, but knows he's right there within striking distance. We'll certainly see another move be made. He's wide on the corner exit of turn number 3. Gonna fall back a little bit, recollect yourself, and restart that attack once more. You know you have the speed to do it. It's just about making the right...
Oh my goodness, Marco Alarcon, our points leader.
Alarcon damaged heavily. You saw the front left completely detached from the car. Back here on the replay, let's take a look, Morgan.
Looks so far so good at that point in time. Are we catching the trap? No. Oh, is this down in turn 9 where we've seen so many drivers? No, was it actually?
Just before turn 9.
Just before turn 9.
That's turn 7 going into turn 8 and 9.
Yeah, that's a day ender.
So that section, I said you can carry a lot of speed, but you have to watch that exit as it also flattens out. It kind of sweeps back to the left even as you're setting up for corner number 8. So Alarcon will be our second retiree of the race.
Adam Collins going to be the third one. Adam Collins going to be the third one here. Apologies on the name there, but this driver just crashed as well.
Taking a look here at the 15. Gets into that turtle, both corners. That unsettles the suspension completely. Gets into the sand, spins it around, and yeah, big hit there.
Oh, lost 3 tires. Oh, no.
3 tires, and we've got one avoiding the nose cone flipping across the track.
So just like that, we went from having almost everyone in the race running to losing a couple drivers in the course of a single lap. That's how quickly these cars can get unsettled and how quickly things can change in any race, but especially here in this Super Formula B series.
Only 104 degrees on the track surface as well, so not extremely hot like you would imagine. These cars are a lot to handle, especially once you get some of the debris on the track surface. That can certainly hinder the grip out of the corner, as you'll start to see a lot of sliding once we get into that kind of a scenario. Luckily, a lot of these drivers are able to keep it on the track within the limits, so we don't have a whole lot of sections with debris on the track.
Yeah, that is true. It would be difficult. Oh my goodness, big bobble for Cornu, still sliding. Driver way off behind him.
That's Ayan.
That's Ayan, who's just chasing him down. We've seen this driver have a couple issues with the rear end stepping out in certain sections. It goes for a big ride there. Let's go have a look at it.
It's a tough corner to lose all that ground that you just had. You just had an attack into turn 1. You see him high on the entry. Tries to bring it down to the bottom, and yeah, just a little bit early, a little bit too hard on the throttle. Great job recovering it, though.
Let's go back one more time. I think we're going to see quite a bit of handwork here as he's able to keep this thing from snapping around. But we saw Cornu do the same thing right in front of him. Touch the throttle in that final corner, and it just wanted to snap around. So see it here. Look at the hands. Woo! That's getting it.
That is a fantastic job keeping it off of the wall there. It is hard to slow it down in the sand trap.
You did see he was also on the OTS there, so maybe that little boost of speed was a little more than he expected in that corner. Just trying to push it, because unlike, and correct me if I'm wrong, but unlike DRS, you can use the OTS system anywhere on the racetrack you want, correct?
That you can, because unlike DRS, it is not, manipulating the curvature of the wing or the opening of the wing. is simply a boost. I believe it's a little bit of extra boost pressure coming from that turbo that we have on these cars. You'll hear that as we have the onboard shots. Off the throttle into the corner, you'll hear the turbo chirp. So I'm thinking it's just adding a couple pounds of pressure to that, bumps you up a few extra horsepower. Really helps with those corner exits. Straight away, you can pick up a few extra miles an hour, but it's not really something to help at the top end like DRS is.
Makes a lot of sense. Oh, driver off in front of him. That's Cornu again. Cornu really been struggling here. The last handful of laps, that car is not happy right now.
Perfect opportunities to talk about that open setup. Maybe Cornu's being built a little bit more for the first half speed, getting extremely loose here as we are closing in on the final laps of the race. Under attack now from that number 9, Rizugi, only 0.3 of a second, and that's only one mistake here from Cornu.
Absolutely, and we've seen it happen a number of times. The final corner on the previous lap, we saw the 7 have a big wobble, big wiggle, and almost lost it into the sand trap. Unfortunately, AN behind him got the worst of it, who ended up going in the sand trap. But a lot of these drivers getting nervous under braking, under acceleration, and these cars aren't wanting to roll through the center, other than our leader, who gaps it out to 7.7 seconds now with only about 8 laps to go.
Valentin Kluss also holds a nearly 4-second advantage over JT Smeaton for that second position. Smeaton about 3 seconds over Dennis Branch for third. So, you know, we're pretty well spread out now through the top 7. We're talking about 22 seconds separating first and 7th place to this battle that we've got with Rizugi and Cornu for that 7th position. So there's a lot of ground to work with in this top half of the field.
We're off track there.
Wide.
Yeah, just trying to get everything you can get. Every 1/10 of a mile an hour is worth it in this situation. Big wobble there. See the nervousness in the hands as he just holds the wheel straight, hoping that it bites the way he wants it to. It did. You do the same thing in a stock car when it starts to slide. You just kind of hold the wheel straight, hope that the tires catch up to you, and that you don't end up, you know, nosing it head first into the outside retaining wall. Similar to what we saw right in this location a little bit earlier. And OTS gets turned on, and away we go.
See another battle starting to form just behind for the 9th position. Simon Se in the 12, trying to take advantage of gaining ground on the 13 of Andrea Zanin. And for the 9th position, separated by about 1/2 of a second as we enter turn 1. The 12 is going to hold it pretty close, however. Doesn't lose a whole lot of ground once we get into turns 2 and 3. Actually still gaining ground as we make our way into 4.
Yeah, overshot that corner just a little bit, but still in touch here. A lot more speed down the straightaway, able to get off these corners better, maybe overdriving the entry just a touch. A lot of speed here.
Really wide on exit of 8. Let's see how 9 goes, keeps it on the track. So we're looking pretty good back here. I would say that we're going to see a side-by-side here very shortly between Zanin and Se.
Possible, although lost some time the last couple corners. Was 0.6, now it's 1 second the gap. So it seems like the slower sections more suit the setup of Simon Se. The faster sections seem to be working better for Zanin in that number 13 car.
Be a little bit more downforce focused here for Simon. A little more top end oriented for Zanin. Now, Mugello is a technical enough track. I would lean in favor of a higher downforce setup, personally.
Yeah, I can't say I have an opinion one way or the other on that. Obviously, almost every course has a little bit of both, where you need a little top-end speed on the end of the straightaway, for example, and some of these faster corners where you can get away with medium downforce. And most of the racetrack also have a tight technical section where you're going to need all the downforce you could ever want. So yeah, I'm not sure what the balance is here. Might have to ask some drivers we can get some interviews here later in the show, what their preference is on Downforce's facility, if you want more or less, and where that could help or hurt you.
Like that idea. We'll certainly get a chat with a couple of these drivers. Fries Larson looking to make another win here tonight. Nearly 8 seconds over Kluss. Smeaton still holding down that third spot. So we're going to have a couple drivers to interview after this one's all said and done. 5 laps to go here at Mugello, Morgan. It's coming to an end.
That's been a fun one. I mean, truly, this is the most dominant effort we've seen for the entire season. I mean, typically we at least have another driver in the frame when we're talking about the leader. We did obviously have a great battle at Spa last week, and another one at Fuji a couple weeks before that. Road America was good as well. But, I mean, where is second position? Still waiting. Haven't seen them yet. I mean, Timothy Fries Larson has been on another planet so far in this race. And, yeah, a lot of speed out of that number 1.
Don't forget, Kluss did have to pass quite a few cars to get to that second spot. You have to think if a slightly better qualifying effort might have kept those two more in touch with each other. However, since we've seen Kluss get up to that second spot with about a 5.5 second gap to Larson, that has extended now to 3 seconds. You have to think that Larson just has what it takes here to take him a win in Italy.
Yeah, it seems that way. And let's have a quick walk through our field here with only 5 laps to go, just to make sure everyone gets a little bit of airtime here. That's why we do this. JT Smeaton running in the 3rd position. Obviously, every lap being led by Timothy Fries Larson so far in this race. We got Dennis Branch running in 4th in the number 4. Dan Jiang right behind him, rounding out your top 5. Miguel Fachado is in the 6th position. We got Dennis Cornu, who we've watched extensively here. He's been a part of a lot of great battles, sitting in the 7th position in the 7. Mohammed here in the 9th, or in the number 9, is in 8th. Andrea Zanin running in the 9th position. And your top 10, Simon Che, is the driver holding that final spot. Ian here in 11th. Ziska Jensen in 12th. And the last driver running is Kazimirski in 13th. Marcos Alarcon, Adam Collin, Gonzalo Diaz Lavia, they have all left the session due to damage on their machines. And with 4 laps to go, none of those positions are really that highly contested, Logan. What do you expect to see here the rest of the way?
I would expect to see what's left of the OTS being used here through the middle section of the field. Timothy Fries Larson, you know, I don't think that I would be shocked if that number 1 has really had to use a whole lot of the OTS. So we might see in the final 2 laps just the fastest laps that we're going to see all race long, as he will get on that button and use everything that's left of it, if there is anything left. But that middle section, you know, we've got a couple cars that are within a second of each other. We've got a potential 3-wide battle for the 9th spot with Zanin, Say, and Ayan. They are separated by about 2 seconds, all 3 cars. So we've got potential here to still see some battles before we see that checkered flag.
Absolutely, with only 3 laps left. This trio of cars, if they're going to get closer together, they're going to have to do it right now. You got to find that speed, use the OTS, use whatever trick you have in the book. Hopefully the setup is just going to get faster and faster for you. As our leaders are running 124.7 the last lap for Fries Larson. It's actually your entire top 3 ran 24.7. These drivers back here running 25s. So definitely a bit of a pace difference at this point in the race. Curious if that's set up or if the top 3 have just put more time on this racetrack than the drivers further back in the field.
Certainly have to say they're still quite a bit faster than myself in the fixed setup. Fastest like 128. These guys know how to make me look extremely slow. Not claiming to be a professional by any means at all, but certainly no competition for anybody out here on this track right now.
Absolutely. I'm in the same boat, Logan. I'm sure you probably absolutely dust me on these courses in the Super Formula machine. I am not a road course ringer by any stretch. Very much a stock car guy, and even that is questionable some days. But this trio, they are getting closer together. It's half a second separating all of them as we hit the white flag here right away. 9 seconds separating your top two. Oh, but the pace is dropping from your leader. The gap just came down by half a second.
A little bit of an issue there for Fries Larson. However, did just set the fastest lap, nearly cracking into the 123s, 124.090. So Larson very close to being the only driver in the 123s. Won't happen this lap, but he's got one more to try to make it happen. Go right back here to this battle for that 9th position. Say has caught up with Zanin for 9th. And right there behind, just a half second. Looking to make up some ground as well. Might see a potential 2-for-1 opportunity as Ayan sends it in deep. He's going to make up some ground on corner entry there. Your way down to turn 12, 13, 14 coming up.
Went wide.
Shortly. Wide on entry, will open the door, but it closes just as fast as it opened. Simon right there looking to make it go.
Oh, we hit him.
What's he going to do? Contact. And through.
Oh my goodness, he got him. Let's have a look at it quickly here on the replay. Oh my goodness, this changes everything as it's the final lap. Fries Larson is way out in front, but oh my goodness, what a change in this race.
See, Zanin goes wide through turn 12, sets up well in 13 and 14, a little earlier on the brakes than maybe Say was expecting. Very close on the brakes and just gets that right rear, sends the right rear tire flying. Say's going to lose the nose, but then that 8 Bahadin Ayan able to just work right through on the inside. And here we are right back to the lead. Timothy Fries Larson comes out of turn 15 down the straightaway for the final time tonight and claims yet another win here in Italy. 24 laps led.
And he got his 123 second lap. He did it. What a great run. From start to finish, it was picture perfect for Timothy Fries Larson.
JT Smeaton was able to crack into the 123s as well. So Larson not the only driver, but does claim the fastest lap of the race as well. Only 2 of them in the 23s. The rest of the field in the 24s and 25s for their best laps. Great competition through and through. Timothy Fries Larson again with another race win here tonight. Again, correction on the 24 laps led. It was every single lap, all 25 in control of the 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a incredible race. Won the pole, led every lap, fastest lap of the day. Just not much more you can say about it than just absolute perfection here. Timothy Fries Larson. Let's have a look at those results, Logan.
Might as well. We saw it live, but we'll talk about it again. Timothy Fries Larson takes home the race win here at Mugello, Tuscany, Italy. Valentin Kluss will take home that second position, up 4 spots in a great battle there at that about lap 10. As we saw Kluss up into the podium, make way for that second spot. JT Smeaton will round out the top 3. Dennis Branch, the 4, finishes in 4th. Dan Yang, the 6, finishes in 5th. Miguel Fachado with a quiet night, but takes home P6. Dennis Cornu, we saw in quite a few battles, comes home with a 7th place finish. Mohamed Rizigi in the 9 takes home 8. And in the 8 takes home 9. Simon Say in the 12 rounds out our top 10.
11th here this evening will be Jensen. Badurziska Jensen here in the 14 machine. Artur Kazumirski will finish in 12th. Andrea Zanin, after running up in the top 10, last lap crash relegates them to the 13th spot. Marcos Alarcon obviously did not finish the race, will finish 14th. Adam Collin in 15th, and Gonzalo Diaz Lavia will round out your 16 driver field here, only completing a couple of the laps here this evening. Well, we have a few drivers waiting to chat with us, Logan. Let's start off with the winner of the race here, Timothy Free Larson.
I 100% agree with that. We'll get Timothy Free Larson up here in the booth. Timothy Free Larson, you've got Logan and Morgan up here in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy, driver.
Yeah, copy. I can hear you.
Well, yet another dominating performance here tonight. 25 laps led. You started on the pole. You take it home on the number 1 spot, and you set the trifecta with the fastest lap of the race. Walk us through a little bit of it. We didn't find you in much of the action.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I got a good start, and I could take the normal racing line into turn 1. And from then, I managed to create a gap, and since this track is so high speed and it's such a high downforce setup, as well as the track temperature being pretty high, saving tires was pretty important. See, front left now is 54%, so not too good, but yeah, I managed my tires well. I didn't have to use push to pass early on, so I could just push flat out in the end and extend the gap to 9.5 seconds over the line.
Wow, I didn't realize that tire wear was such an important factor in this race. This track looks glass smooth from a bird's eye view here. So curious that it's that abrasive on tires, I guess, with the speed and the load that you guys are carrying. But we never really saw your number 1 car bobble or wiggle or move at all. I mean, how have you over time just practiced driving so smoothly without having any of these bobbles or having any unnecessary tire wear or time loss?
Um, that's kind of difficult to say, to be honest. I mean, I was not driving at 100% until the final 2 laps, because otherwise I would kill my tires. So yeah, just holding back a little bit on the pace, making sure that I hit my marks correctly and that I'm smooth on the steering wheel and the brakes. And yeah, that's how you take care of the tires.
Well, yet another fantastic race. Again, Timothy Free Larson, you are no stranger to it, but we'll go ahead and say it anyways. Anybody watching at home, any shout outs that you'd like to give for your P1 finish here tonight?
Yeah, well, I would like to say Dylan again. I know he's watching. Joel too, a family member. He's watching for the first time, and so I'm happy to win while he's watching. My dad and my grandfather were both watching together on the television and they're cheering for me. So yeah, great to finally get a win in front of them. And yeah, thank you to the team Hyperion Racing. And yeah, without them, I would not have my setups, and it would be hard to win. Well, at last, thanks to you guys at VSPEED and also the guys over at Sim Racing Nation for hosting and funding these broadcasts. They're great to watch back.
Absolutely. And I think you'll like to watch this one back as it was complete domination from start to finish. Timothy Larson, again, congratulations. And we will see you next week as we take on Barcelona.
Yeah, see you guys then.
You bet that is your winner here this evening. Now let's move on. We have caught up with Valentin Klus. Let's have a chat with your second place finisher. Valentin, it's Morgan and Logan up in the booth. You got a copy.
Hello, guys.
All right.
All good.
Second position here this evening. Started in 6th. You had a good start. Were able to pass some cars early, but how much do you wish you would have qualified second and had a shot at the number 1 because he was the class of the field here today?
Yeah, qualifying was a bit of a shocker. Yeah, made a mistake. Couldn't really get a good lap there, but yeah, then in the race I just tried to pass everyone as clean as possible. It's very difficult to pass around here, but yeah, made it work. And yeah, I would have wished to start at P2 or like top 3 maybe, but I think Timothy was just a bit too quick today to follow, because on this track the slipstream doesn't do that much because you have a lot of corners, so it's hard to follow. So yeah, maybe in lap 1, if I had a really good start, maybe I could have done something, but apart from that, I think, yeah, he just had a bit the advantage today. Was lacking 1 or 2 tenths a lap at least.
Now, we talked about it a little bit. Larson had some input as well. How was the setup built for this track here today? Were we focusing more on the higher downforce since we had quite a technical course?
Yeah, definitely higher downforce. Yeah, we only have one long straight, and yeah, even there, it's not that easy to overtake unless you're much quicker. It's quite hard to get close enough to make a move on the straight. So yeah, really focus on a high downforce setup for the quick corners.
Awesome. Well, second position here. It's got to feel good. You've really started to show some pace here the last few weeks that you've been on this series here on VSPEED. So while we have you up here, anyone you want to say to the people watching you, people cheering you on at home?
I want to thank everyone who watched the race. I want to thank Francesco. I want to thank Mark. I think they supported me this race. I want to thank my family, my friends. I want to thank everybody.
Awesome. Well, sounds good to us. Appreciate the opportunity to chat with you up here. Thank you for your time and congratulations on second position, Valentin.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
You bet. That second place finisher, Valentin Klus. All right, we got one more driver to chat with, Logan. Let's bring him up here.
That we do. It's going to be our third place finisher, JT Smeaton, making his way up here into the booth. JT Smeaton, you've got Logan and Morgan up here in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy, driver.
Yep, I can hear you guys.
Well, you finished P3, you started P2, you found yourself in quite a few battles early on in the race. What did it take for you to settle in here and come away with this third place finish tonight, holding back, various drivers on multiple attempts to take away this podium spot?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a challenge for sure. I was pretty pleased with qualifying, to be honest. Been struggling a bit in qualifying this week, but to get that lap in of course, 4 tenths behind Timothy, but that was definitely crucial, especially with how hard it is to overtake here. But yeah, the main goal for me was just settle in, get a good rhythm. Tire wear was really high this race, so sort of just managing the tires, and of course with Valentine down the field, it was pretty tough to keep him behind. But I knew that my battle was really with the guys behind. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty pleased with the race. Maybe a few improvements here and there, but yeah, pretty pleased with it.
Awesome. I mean, third position, definitely nothing to scoff at. You're racing up against some guys who are some of the best I've ever seen on the service
Oh yeah.
in Free Larson and Klus, up well above 8,000 for both of those guys, which puts them in like the top 0.2% of all drivers. So, I mean, what is it like knowing that you're racing against just some of these really incredible drivers and that you have a fighting chance at beating some of these guys on a regular basis?
Oh yeah, it's definitely, I don't know, a bit of an ego boost, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, they're amongst some of the quickest guys I've ever seen, and to even race them is just an honor. And I love learning from them, studying their laps. But yeah, it's just really cool to, have a little bit of a chance to race against them. It's been a lot of fun.
I echoed that from the broadcast side as well. And while we got you up here, I mean, this is kind of a treat, I think, for a lot of these drivers being able to be part of a non-league broadcasted event here on a weekly basis. So I appreciate the Sim Racing Nation and iRacing for allowing VSPEED the opportunity to do this. But while we're up here, who do you want to thank? Who do you want to shout out? Who's watching for you, JT Smeaton?
Oh yeah, big shout out to you guys and Alan. Really cool to bring the community together on Saturdays, and big shout out to Adam and Miguel, or sorry, not Adam, Andrew and Miguel in chat. See you guys. But yeah, thank you guys.
All right, that's your third place finisher tonight, JT Smeaton. Appreciate your time. Or maybe we'll see you next week.
See you next week, maybe.
All right, Logan, we caught up with our Fast 3 podium finishers. What a fun one here in Italy.
That it was. We had such a good time here at this track. Mugello, just one of the, more famous courses whenever you think of open wheeled racing, at least to me. And it proved itself today. But we've got 3 more races coming up in this series before we see the end of it all. We go right back to Spain. We have Barcelona. Then we're going to take it to the Netherlands, Zandvoort. And then, last but not least, probably my favorite track in this series, we're going to take it right back to Italy, right to Monza, to finish it off for week 12.
We get to see maybe some turn 1 memes made in Monza, but that's going to be a great race. I'm very excited for that one. Hopefully, we'll have an opportunity to cover that in 3 weeks' time. And I've got to have another big thank you to iRacing and SimRacingNation.com for allowing VSPEED the opportunity, and Logan and I the opportunity to cover these races. Definitely a pleasure to cover the Formula B Series, the Super Formula cars, here on iRacing. And once again, SimRacingNation.com helping put this thing together behind the scenes. Big thank you to them for all that they have done for VSPEED and for iRacing as a whole, the SimRacing community. Really a fantastic community that they have built there. And one other thing, if you haven't already, you like seeing these races, check out the description. There's a donation link in there. It allows us to fund these races so that we can come back every week and show these great drivers doing these incredible things behind the wheel to everyone here on YouTube. So please do donate, allow us to fund next week's race in Spain, I believe you said, right, Logan?
That it is.
All right, going to be a lot of fun. But for everyone at VSPEED who makes this thing possible, Adam, Eddie, Logan, Bradley, everyone else, all the other producers and commentators, I've been your color and your producer, Morgan Cook. Logan, of course, lead commentator tonight. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time here on VSPEED. But one more thing, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, so you don't miss a moment of this great racing action. We'll see you next time, everyone.